It's a new year, but it's the same place. We are at Hardesty's, where the people are great and the food is even greater.
Yeah, starting off right.
Of course, I'm with Dax Leone, the athletic director at Shawnee High School.
Year three.
This is our coaches show, and we are kicking off year three.
Yeah,
and you are kicking off year three of life.
I know, it's hard to believe. We were just talking about that before the opening. It's amazing how time flies when you're having fun, and kids are working hard, school's back in, the coaches are here, and I feel like we're back in kind of a normal schedule. Like the summer for us is crazy because everyone's like, oh, it's not busy in the summer. It's busier in the summer. School gets in, we're in a routine, and we're ready for some high school football and all of our other fall sports.
Well, I know you love to brag on kids, but man, those facilities over there are looking great. We got the new turf, you've got the new scoreboard up, but no bigger news than one of our own kids, Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. A kid from Shawnee, Oklahoma, doing pretty well for himself. So, there had been some talks with his negotiations. You hear different things, and so when it came across the bottom that he had signed that contract, and just so proud for him and Melissa and Chad and all of his family. He's a great ambassador for Shawnee Public Schools, and obviously what he did here, and just the mark he leaves. And anytime he comes back in town, he's just so willing to talk to the kids, and he's just so personable. But yeah, I think he's going to be doing all right for a long time, and we're pretty happy for Creed. So
well, the Humphrey family, from the uncles, the nephews, the mom, the dads, the grandparents, just the whole Humphrey family. What a wonderful example of a Shawnee clan.
Yeah, they're awesome. And Gage just got married not too long ago. He's got the beautiful little daughter, and yeah, we all grew up together, Darren and all of us.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, and, with Jason, the O'Connors too, with Jason and all that crew too. So it's a great family. It's great to see great people have success. And Creed, humble as the day is long, hardworking, and the best center in the NFL, I guess, is what everybody's saying, ain't it?
He's proved it. He was the best center in his college days. Now he's the best wherever he goes. And I want to talk to the young kids a little bit about that, because that stuff doesn't just happen.
Yep.
Creed started from a very young age, and he took everything very seriously about his body, about his physical nature, but also about his schooling.
Yep.
He was not struggling in school because he applied himself to the right things. And what we're seeing today with the Kansas City Chiefs, we actually were witnessing 15 years ago as this young man was growing up. And nothing will prove to you success as consistent hard work.
Yeah, I think you said it very well, man. That's been in Creed's DNA since he was a young man, and obviously it comes from his family, like I said, with Chad and Melissa. Mm-hmm. But if you just watch, I very rarely watch a football game, and I never take my eyes off the center. But when the Chiefs play, I can't. He's the only guy I watch, and they got Patrick Mahomes and all these other guys. But if you just watch him, he's always on his feet. He's always in the right spot. I attribute a lot of that to his wrestling background. But he's just that's who they run behind when they need big yards. But if you never just watched him the whole game, like you should do it, because he's the best in the NFL, and right here from Shawnee, Oklahoma. So proud for Creed. Creed, keep up the good work, brother.
Yes, and now today we've got a great show for you, as we have assistant head football coach, Coach Blitch, who handles all about the defense for Coach Madonna. Talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, Coach Blitch is special, man. When Coach Madonna got the job, he was like, there's one guy for this job, and it's Coach Blitch at Booker T. Because when Coach Madonna was at Del City as the OC, him and Blitch had some battles going back and forth, O versus D. He's like, dang, I can't figure this guy out, and vice versa. So he was his number one target. So when we got him in here, and just to be around him and his knowledge, and just the way he is with our kids too, he's very demanding, but he's very, people friendly. He's very extremely smart. He might be one of the smartest guys in the district, man. I'm telling you, he is extremely smart. But what we do on defense, his DNA is all over that field. And I think when you talk to Dace and Deech about him, they'll glow about him as well. So we're really happy to have Coach Blitch.
Well, and I know that you love talking about the young men, young lady athletes over at Shawnee High School. What about the two we have with us today in Deetrick Beavers and Dace Shaw?
Yeah, I'm sad they're seniors, man. I wish they were around for a few more years, but those are the kind of guys that are going to leave their mark on Shawnee Public Schools and Shawnee High School, and obviously the football program. Both of them hard-working leaders, and I'll tell you one thing about them too. Neither one of them missed a day all summer in Summer Pride. So there was 10 or 12 guys that didn't miss one day all summer. I mean, we had up to 70, 80 kids out at one time. Both of those guys never missed a day. So that ought to tell you about their determination and, their dedication to this team and really what Coach Madonna has done since he's came in here. He has really, culture's an overused word, but he has changed the mindset of our football program, and you can feel it around town. It's a lot easier to raise money when you're out, with good things happening. And I credit a lot to Coach Madonna, Coach Blitch, his staff. But, Dace and Deetrick both are guys that represent Shawnee Public Schools in a very positive way. And, I'm their biggest fan, man. Like I said, I can't wait for Friday night to see number 20 and number 24 out there on offense and defense.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and you feel it even in here as Hardesty's starting to pack up, as it always does at lunch, because the food is great.
And the people are even better.
We'll be back, and I think you got Coach Blitch next.
Experience the wholesome goodness of St. Gregory's Abbey. Our monks raise healthy, pasture-raised beef, free from antibiotics and hormones. Available in the Monks Marketplace inside the front monastery doors every Tuesday through Saturday.
A&S Roofing. Quality roofing built to last. Dedicated to high-quality work, pays attention to the details. So get started on your roofing project today with A&S Commercial and Residential Roofing and Contracting. At McElroy and Owens Funeral Group, your loved one never leaves our care. From your first phone call at the time of loss through final resting, we are with you. Stop by McElroy and Owens for a visit today.
All right, we're back at Hardesty's Groceries, where the food is great and the people are even better. We're here with our defensive coordinator, Mike Blitch. Coach Blitch, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to Hardesty's.
Appreciate it.
Have you been here before?
Yeah, good food.
Good food. Well, Coach Blitch is our defensive coordinator, done a great job in his 2 years here. Coach, why don't you just talk a little bit about your defense, maybe a little bit about the summer, and just kind of how things have kind of shaped up for the Wolves this year?
I think we had a pretty good summer. We had a 7-on-7 we went to weekly out there. We rotated a couple different sites, had the Coweta tournament. We ended up placing second in that, made the championship game, ended up coming up short on 2-point conversion on last play on a fade ball by a pretty good D1 athlete. All in all, I think we really progressed a lot. It's been night and day compared to last year coming in, because we were finishing up. I was up there at Booker T. Washington, Tulsa, and then before we could come down here, we obviously had the tornado, put us behind a little bit, and then finishing my contract up there before we could get here, we did a lot of our install throughout summer. So that was the biggest thing, was we're trying to, in June, start install stuff, where this year we've carried that throughout the season. Yeah, so by the time we got to summer this season, we're so much more advanced to what we can do coverage-wise, schematically. It's just really put us in a different spot to where it was a year ago, rolling into Seminole, that first game. We're still trying to, iron out the kinks and little things.
Right. Yeah. Well, so kind of speaking on your defense a little bit, obviously you're a defensive guy, defensive guru. What are some of the players that maybe we should be looking for this year? Obviously, I know who they are, but maybe tell the people on some of the guys that have made an impact this summer that we can look forward to this season.
I think we're going to have a pretty big season out of a lot of guys, a couple new guys in different spots. Lance Williams, he's our Swiss Army knife on the defense. He played 9 different spots last year for us, everything from left end to outside backer to safety, but he played a little corner last year, but he's moved full-time into a corner role. He played corner at Guthrie last year a little bit for us, and this year he's going to go full-time at that spot. I think he's done a phenomenal job so far. He's extremely strong, one of the strongest guys on the team, pound for pound. So I think with that, utilized with his foot speed, because he's one of our top 3 fastest players. I think he's going to be pretty dominant out there. Keaton Choate, sophomore, big kid, 6'3", 235. He's going to be a big contributor for us this year. We got a senior, Nokos Wasana. He's going to play some right in, and he's got a motor for days that I think is going to really just put him in a really good position to make some key plays for us this year. It's got a lot of guys in different spots. Ryan High obviously is coming back for that linebacker crew, senior captain for us. Having Dace Shaw, you guys will talk to in a bit, having him back this year. Out majority of the season last year, came back final couple games, had a couple picks last year in the 2 games he played. So I think that's going to be a big factor for us on the back end, really solidifying what we're doing back there.
And it feels like our depth is better than it was a year ago.
It does.
Rotating some guys in.
Much better depth. Logan Skelton, I think, is going to have a big-time season. I think he's been dominant so far in fall camp and spring team ball. I think he's going to be the big X factor this year. He resets the line of scrimmage every play. Last year, he obviously started as a freshman, so he's getting his feet wet a little bit last year, kind of getting used to big boy ball out there with seniors. I mean, you got guys from 14 to 19 years old, some of them, him at 14, but now he's matured a little bit. He's really worked hard in the weight room. I mean, he's strong as an ox. I mean, this kid's going to reset that line of scrimmage. So we're looking big plays out of him at that nose spot this year.
Yeah, and that wrestling background probably doesn't hurt him.
Yeah, we had a lot.
On his feet and
we had about
like
14 kids go to wrestling this year.
Yeah,
I thought that was a huge thing. So a lot of them working on their leverage, their physicality, just getting used to just getting that grappling at the line of scrimmage for a lot of those big boys we sent over there. So I think that's been a huge step for us, having those guys coming off the mat back to the field. They're just whole different breed when we talk about their angles and the leverage some of these guys are using, just driving them back.
Yeah. So starting really year 2 in our system with you guys, and like we said, we were a little bit behind last year. Going to see some big jumps. Our depth's better. How have the scrimmages gone? I know we've scrimmaged twice, and how do you feel? You know, they're kind of sometimes hard to judge because there's so many moving parts. But how do you feel your defense has done in our scrimmages?
I think it went pretty well. We did that first one. I think we went out there, competed really well. This last one here, we ended up falling a little short on that. We're trying to rotate a lot of guys. The game plan defensively for us anyway, these first 2 scrimmages, we're trying to find out who our players are. Because like you said, depth was a big thing for us last year. We didn't have a true 2 deep or even 3 deep. Well, this year, the numbers we have with our roster getting to where it's at, especially with some of these freshman classes and these kids from last year moving in these sophomore roles like the Logan Skeltons and Brody Olivers, kids like that. Keaton Choate.
Chuffy.
We're at Chuffy Walden. We're at a place where now we're trying to figure out where we can continue that depth for that, not only a 2 deep, but a 3 deep. So we really try to rotate as many guys we can, get them out there, get a feel for them, and even some of those young guys, we played some freshmen in some of those games. Try to see where they project long term. Big thing for us, especially defensively, is we're trying to figure out what their position is going to be at the varsity level when they get there. We don't want to just put a kid, hey, he can do this year and get it going. We want them developing at that position long term, learning the ins and outs, the fine tunes and techniques of their spot. So by the time they come around, some of them their junior, senior years, they're really developed and where they're going to be at that position. They can help us within our defense. We're trying to do at the varsity level.
So last question for me, and maybe just tell the folks about your defensive staff. I mean, you're the defensive coordinator, associate head coach, but talk about your staff. I know we got some new guys on our staff that we're really excited about, and of course some returning guys. Just talk about your staff a little bit.
Our defensive staff, we got Dustin Lovelace, his defensive line coach, come back this year. Tom Williams is doing our line spot. It's our outside linebacker hybrid position we utilize. We're going to have Will Hilton. He's coming for us. He's a college safety a year ago. He's coming in, first year teaching and coaching. Really got a high IQ, fit for the game, feel for it.
So that's pretty much our defensive staff. So you're the coordinator. So when you guys are meeting and stuff, everybody kind of has their information coming from their spots, and then you just kind of put your stamp on it and everybody's input. But at the end of the day, we're running Coach Blitch's D, and these guys are doing a great job for us.
Yeah, they're flying around out there. You're only as good as your staff. These guys are doing a heck of a job getting them coached up, their position groups, their indie time, just teaching them the skills and tools they need to be successful at their positions, and we're putting it all together on the back end, trying to make it fit. But
that's awesome.
I think we're progressing pretty well this year. Pretty excited.
Awesome. Coach, we're excited about the season. Our defense, if you didn't come watch us play last year, they did a great job. We got a lot of those guys back, mixing in some depth. So we keep those chains moving, keep our D fresh. We got a chance to have a really good year on defense and overall. But our defensive prowess is kind of where we're going to hang our hat on with some of these older guys, huh?
Yeah, having the senior leadership this year is going to be a big thing. Like last year, a lot of them were coming in some of their first years, second years, but they were younger sophomores and freshmen, sophomores, juniors. Didn't really have any seniors on the defensive side outside Jason Hare, who was a big catalyst for us. Yes, sir. And so this year we're going to have a lot more senior leadership. We got some goals. Last year, rough season. We in and out. We had some games, some tough battles there. We finished second in 5A in takeaways last year's unit. So that's kind of what we're aiming for this year is continue to preach, hey, get to the ball. Turnovers and takeaways for us is something we're trying to look at.
Okay, great. Well, we're excited to have Coach Blitch here. He's done a great job for us. And so we'll be back here with Daniel and Dace and Deech right after these messages.
Air Force One Heat and Air Conditioning offers competitive pricing, licensed technicians, and over 25 years of experience. Air Force One is a hometown company. Contact Tim or Terry Muirhead with Air Force One. It's Sonic good at all 4 of our Shawnee locations. Great food, great fun, the best hamburgers in town, keeps everybody smiling, parties or gatherings, there's room for everyone. It's always a good time, Sonic good time, at our Shawnee Sonics. Do you want an easy car buying experience? Castor Keys on Harrison. No hidden fees, no price gimmicks. Castor Key Auto Mart for a fair and convenient car buying experience. We are back at Hardesty's where the food is great and the people are even better, and I'm here with 2 great ones as I have Deetrick Beavers and Dace Shaw, 2 seniors, of course, on this year's squad and 2 senior leaders. Dace, I'm going to start with you. You 2 are leaders, but you really have a sound senior class that has a lot of experience. Talk a little bit about your teammates.
Yes, Deetrick, he's just a dog, and he's really one of our most, he's not really vocal, but the way he plays on the field, you can tell he's a leader. He just plays, like, even as a small guy, he's just always out there flying around, getting to it. He's really all you want in a play. He's just, like, full drive, never stops, always has the energy to go both ways. And that's really what you need if you're looking up to a guy. And yeah.
Well, and I agree. I mean, Deetrick, everybody, when they look at you, I mean, your size has to come up because I said it earlier. It's so interesting because you're a smaller sort, but when you hit somebody, they go the other way. How about this guy next to me? He's not a lack of size.
Yeah, Dace, he's a pretty big body. He's one of the best athletes we do have on the team. He goes both ways also. And he's one of our more vocal leaders, and people look up to him and copy what he does for sure.
Well, last year you had a lot of playing time because Dace was out for a while. Talk to us a little bit about what this offseason was like, having a leader like Dace back in the room with everybody working out.
He fills in a lot of spots. It makes, like, the depth chart more easier. We can get rest, and, we can both handle the ball, so we both just split the backfield and we both run.
So, Dace, last year, game 1, you go down and, I mean, there is air just comes out of the stadium. And you struggle through on the sideline for most of the season. How did you prepare this offseason so the coming season will be the best ever in your senior year?
I really just focused more on, like, really my lower body, my ankles. I really did a whole bunch of off-season stuff at my house, like working with my ankles, working with bands, doing, like, one-legged sit-ups or calf raises, I meant, and really just, like, taking more vitamins, keeping my body right, and yeah, that's it.
Well, over the summer, I know you went to some camps. You were MVP running back at one of the state's largest camps, but I want to talk to you a little bit about defense. What do you feel about the defense this coming year? Because I know you've got a lot of upperclassmen playing up in front of you, but you're the quarterback of that defense. What do you think about the defense?
I really feel we're going to be one of the top defenses in the state just because our head coach or our assistant coach, Coach Blitch, he's really good at what he does, and he really puts us in the best position to succeed. And we got a whole bunch of playmakers on defense, and we just got a big D lineman or a big D line. They go after it every time, and they're really interchangeable. We have a whole bunch of people for the D line. In the back 7, we're really locked down for real. We can do anything. I just feel the defense is going to have a lot of takeaways. Just a good season overall for us.
I would agree, and watching in the preseason and the things that you've been able to do has been pretty impressive. But last year, Deet, you were just under 1,000 total yards. It was a lot of fun to watch people bounce off of you when you're carrying that ball. Unless there's 3 or 4 there, you would make them miss, which is a lot of fun. Talk a little bit about the offense and what you see different in this year's offense as Zyron Campbell steps in as quarterback.
I think Zyron's a little bit more comfortable at playing QB, and I think our O-line kind of starting to figure out, like, what they need to do to make him good. So we're starting to hold blocks a little longer. He's starting to learn how to read, and then we got playmakers to just make the plays that we need to win.
Well, in talking about another switch, Toby Gray, who was a standout at defensive line last year, he came on and we saw him catch the ball towards the end of the season. He's going to flip over and be playing a lot of offense. How do you think that that'll impact?
That'll impact good. He's kind of slow, but he can catch the ball. He's a big body. The ball in the air, he's going to go get it for sure.
So, Dace, I think Deep just said Toby was slow. Is that what he said?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Hey, but he'll go get it for sure. He catch that thing. If the ball's anywhere near him, he's gonna get that thing for sure. He's really one of the best possession catch guys we got. Or he'll just go and get it. Like even high point the ball. You see him and you don't think he's that type of athlete, but he'll prove you wrong for sure.
So who do you think is going to stand out this year that we might not be looking at, Deep? From the off season, you've seen some new players coming in, but you've also seen everybody working out. Who do you think we really should keep an eye out for?
Tyree Fleeks.
Okay.
He plays receiver. I think he's a good athlete. He's young, but he's starting to fill in a role that we didn't have last year at a true receiver, so I think he'll be pretty good this season.
So if Toby's got really good hands, you're saying Fleeks is fast. He sounds like that'd be a fast name.
Yeah, he's pretty fast.
I would think that Toby would gallop long, but maybe it's going to be Fleeks is going to be stretching him.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Dace, on your side, you're going to have a little bit of a switch as well. I'm sure we're going to see you lined up beside Zyron in the backfield some, but also you're going to kind of switch out. Talk a little bit about your role and how it's expanded this year.
Yes, I'm probably going to be in the slot a little bit more, just because I just told Madonna we need all the playmakers we can on the field. Put Deech out there in the backfield, put me on the slot. We can do some damage with the guys we got. We got Toby, me, Deetrick, we got Tyree, John, and then just the O-line we have plus Zion. I really feel we can make something special this year.
So going both ways, that can be killer. And we're going to have a lot of players that are going both ways. Deet, talk a little bit how you think that we're going to be able to overcome these players like yourselves, both of you, being on the field so much.
I think that's why we train in the off season. You know, we run a lot to be conditioned so we can be able to go both ways, so we don't have to take the breaks in the game. And if you do the hard stuff during the summer, it's easy during the season. So I think we'll be able to overcome it.
Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about goals and personal goals that you guys have for yourself. Deetrick, I'm going to start with you. When I ask, hey, man, what's your team goal first? What do you want to see happen with this team? What is going to define success for you as a senior leader?
I think going deep in the playoffs or maybe even going to state would be a successful team for us.
Okay, so if we make it to the playoffs and we get a victory in the playoffs, Deetrick's going to go, wow. We got Shawnee back where it needs to be.
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
Okay. What about team-wise for you, first of all, Dace, and then I'm going to come back for individual. But what do you think about team-wise? What would you like to see for this team in order to put a check mark on your season, on your senior season?
Really, just like Deech said, make a deep playoff run, go to the state championship, and win the whole thing. I don't really focus too much about the past, so I just want to worry about the future and what we can bring to the table. And really, I just want to leave my mark. I just want to leave the mark on the team and bring, like, Shawnee back, not even just this season, but just, like, overall.
Well, we've got a lot of younger classmen really stepping up in this offseason, and so that, I think your senior class really are all driven towards that, and what an admirable goal that is. All right, let's talk a little bit selfishly, a little bit individually. Deetrick, for Deetrick Beavers, what's going to be determined for you? What do you have on your wall that says, okay, this is what I'm gunning for?
I want to get over 1,000 yards this season in all-purpose yards, and I just want to be a better leader on and off the field, and yeah.
Very admirable. That's what we love about these guys. Okay, Dace, what about you? When we talk about you personally, what is it that drives you every day that says, okay, this is what's important to me for me to be able to accomplish? Aside, and I know team's most important for both of you, no doubt, but it's always important for us to have our own goals, and I'd like to know what yours are.
Well, one of my first goals is to get a Division I offer, and well, another goal for me is to just be the best I can be, I don't really got too many goals. It's just, well, one goal is to be better than my dad in high school. And that's just always something I wanted to do. I feel like I could prove it this season. Just break some of his records, and really that's it.
And so for some who don't know, that would be Seymour Shaw, who had the greatest single rushing season, I believe, in Shawnee history. I believe your dad got over 2,000 yards, Dace, rushing.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let Deetrick handle that one. I'm going to try to get some yards in the air. Yeah.
That. Go ahead.
But anyway, or I actually forgot what I was about to say.
That's all right. That happens to me all the time. But when we start mentioning Seymour back before like 99, 2000, 2001, a lot of people would remember that name. So that's a very lofty goal for you to have. Well, guys, both of you, thanks a lot. We look forward to a great season. Game 1 is upcoming against Putnam City North, and let's go get that victory. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure being with athletes from Shawnee High School. We come to you from Hardesty's, where the food is great and the people are even greater. And we'll be back with Dax to finish things up. Hardesty Market in Dell, a real butcher shop for over 80 years. Daily lunch specials just like Mom used to make. Best cuts of meat and even better people. Your family at Hardesty Market in Delhi. For 25 years, Eric's has served you and your family for all your prescription needs. Eric and his staff love the community and love seeing you in the store conveniently located on North Kickapoo. Make your day brighter by visiting Eric's today.
For over 50 years, Fred's Tire and Battery has served Central Oklahoma with tires, batteries, and service for cars, trucks, and tractors. Friendly and affordable, with 2 locations in Shawnee. Fred's Tire and Battery, a name you can trust.
We are back at Hardesty's, where the food is great and the people are even better. And, you know, I want to say, Dax, over the summer, all the kids, as they've shown up and they've seen the improvements around the stadium, it's really made a big difference in their inside. You can see it in their eyes.
Yeah, well, you invest in kids. I mean, none of us would be in this position without them. I mean, that's why we're here. And so anything that we could do to provide a better opportunity for them is exactly why you take these positions. And speaking of great people and kids, I got to give a shout out to one of my good buddies and Hall of Famer, Billy Brown. All-time winningest coach in Shawnee football history, getting inducted to the Hall of Fame this year. I've known Billy for 30-plus years. Tucker played for me at UCO. Braley started Tal's quarterback journey. And the Brown family, Suzanne, Blair, Tyson, little Archie now.
Yeah.
All of them they're so special. Billy is one of my closest friends, and I cannot wait to see Billy Brown in the Shawnee Football Hall of Fame. And I think if you talk to Creed Humphrey, he might say the same thing. He gives a lot of credit to Billy Brown and his staff. So congrats, Coach. We're looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Billy, I'll tell you, that happens opening night at the new stadium. I call it new because it really is a new look stadium. Not totally complete, but so much more improved than what you've ever experienced over there. And that's going to be on the 13th, will be the home opener as we welcome in Ardmore, a game that we should win.
Yeah,
I say that. Nobody else is saying that.
Yeah, Ardmore, I'll tell you, they Coach Newby, they do a great job. They were really young last year. You know, they started a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. So, you know, those guys will be a year wiser. And Ardmore football traditionally has always been a great program. So I think Coach Madonna said it the other day. If you look at our schedule top to bottom in football, you know, last year we were in the toughest district in 5A with Carl Albert, McGinnis, you know, Piedmont,
Guthrie.
You look at our schedule this year, it's like every team on there is good. There may not be anybody just as, you know, Carl Albert, but it's just a consistent hard
all
schedule.
Four of those schools.
You're gonna have to play. You're gonna have to show up every Friday night and buckle your chin strap and be ready to play. And it'll be about execution and not turning the ball over and running your scheme, running your offense. So, yeah, but what they've done at Jim Thorpe, what we've all done at Jim Thorpe Stadium is it's amazing. The new video board, if you haven't been by to see it, we're so proud of it. The turf is obviously first in Oklahoma. You know, the kids walk out there and they got a sense of pride and accomplishment, and you know that's why you do these things. So
let's clarify that.
Yep.
When you say turf, first in Oklahoma, of course we're not the first turf field in Oklahoma. tell us what you're talking
So
about.
we're the first turf in Oklahoma for football without the black pellets, so basically we have a cooling agent that's in our turf that makes it feel more like natural grass, and temperature-wise, more like natural grass. So if you're on a regular turf field, it's 110 outside, that turf field's about 130, 150 sometimes. So ours is comparable to grass. So if it's 110 outside, it's going to feel like maybe 115, but it's going to feel a lot better than it does on those turf fields with all the black pellets.
Richard wants to come in, I think.
Oh, all right, come on in,
grab
Richard.
Something. Let's get you a mic. Let's get you a mic.
No, I'm good. I think everybody can hear me. With that being said, my daughter's over there. She's the mother of Isaiah Smith.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is one of the
One of the greatest kids around. He's a junior or a senior this year, is Isaiah.
I think
He'll be a senior.
He'll be a senior.
Yep,
You're
he'll be a
right.
senior.
He'll be a senior. He'll be graduating. And Noah Smith has been playing with the basketball teams. The basketball teams and everything else. So
Noah, left-handed pitcher too.
And listen, we appreciate you guys for helping out on Shawnee Sports, and we watch your show regularly.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
Richard.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. That's awesome.
And
That's
we love
awesome.
that. I mean, this is
awesome.
part of the food is great and the people are even better.
That's
Right
awesome. Yeah, Noah, he's a left-handed
Carter.
pitcher too. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and Jess works in the district. She's great. Her and Chad, awesome people. So, awesome people.
All right. Well, first edition, year 3.
Yep.
Dax's Coaches Show.
Yep.
We appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do we have to look forward to this year? We've got some other fall sports going. We're going to be able to meet them in our October edition.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, our volleyball team is 13-1, and they've been doing work. Coach Burnett and his group have been awesome. Cross country's had their first meet. They'll run it. Gordon Cooper on Saturday.
Coach Jay.
So Coach Jay and Coach Licklider will be out there. Softball, Coach Clemens. They've been on the road a little bit, but we're about to have a little home streak here. I think we are 2-4 overall, but we've had some really good games and really an improved product on the field for him. And then we got all of our middle school stuff going on. Middle school football plays, middle school volleyball has been playing, middle school cross country. So it's a busy time of the year, and man, it makes it fun. The days go fast and the weeks go by even faster. So we're really proud of all of our programs. But I say, if you haven't been out to see our volleyball team play, they're pretty special. Like I said, the only loss we had was in the Catoosa tournament up there, and 13-1. You can't argue with that. So
they come in number 4 this week in the state with the first rankings out.
Yeah, it was at the Spalpa tournament, not Catoosa's next week or 2 weeks from now. But
That's all right.
13-1. They've done a great job. We got some big hitters, Jordan Tash, and some of the girls have been they've been absolutely dominant. And if you haven't seen them, welcome anybody out to watch the girls play. And Friday night at Puffin City North, and then next Friday night at home versus Ardmore. So.
Shout out to your office Letty Martinez and Julia Holland. You couldn't do it without them.
Oh no, they're awesome. Yeah, they're awesome. Love being
it's
around
good that they
them.
have the cue cards back there.
Yeah,
for you
no,
to fill you in.
we gotta. Letty's got to keep us. She keeps me and Julia organized. She's got our days down to a science. So no, we love when they come down and eat lunch with us and get to see them. So no, we got a great team, and so we're excited about the year, and year 3, man. It's hard to believe. Honestly, it's hard to believe. And I think when we started 3 years ago, I think we've made a lot of positive progress. We still got a lot of work to do, but, every day you just feel our brand growing. And I just, I feel really confident about Shawnee Public Schools and the athletic program. So we're excited about the future.
Well, as always, we certainly appreciate you tuning in and watching all the athletes play across campus. And what a privilege it is to do what we do. We thank you for being with us today on the Dax Leone Coaches Show from Hardesty's, where the people are even better than the food.
The people are the best. Go Wolves.